y'all. But I'm like, I gotta go live really quick and talk to the folks. How are y'all? Happy Monday. How was y'all's Monday? I had a good Monday. It wasn't anything too bad. But how are y'all doing? I made a little seafood boil, so that is definitely on my mind right about now. But how are y'all doing? Happy Monday. Your girl just premiered another Money Mondays video. Listen, y'all, we gotta get a plan. I'm just saying we just to be nice, but it's not really we. But ooh, we gotta get a plan to pay off this student loan debt. September 1st, the payment pause is over. It was a listen, it was a 3-year run. It was a good run. But the payment pause is over on September 1st. That means that interest is coming back starting September 1st, and October 1st payments are back. So, I feel like a lot of folks, especially for folks who like replace that payment with something else, like a lot of them are probably, they may be shaking in their boots right now. But you don't have to be shaking in your boots. You can make a plan to get rid of this student loan debt. Also, y'all, Grandpa Biden has kind of reworked like the payment as far as how much of your income that it'll be. I believe that it's only for the income repayment plan, it's only going to be 5% of your income. And then I think if you pay it without missing any deadlines or anything like that in 10 years, he said 20 in the press conference, but I think it's 10 years that it will be forgiven. Now, me personally, I ain't trying to pay on that for 10 years outside of a mortgage. So I'm not like, that's not really like a helping thing for me, as far as for the peoples and their student loan debt. But that is an option. And y'all, this thing is coming back. It is July. I don't have my watch on, but it is July 10th, I believe. And basically less than 2 months, these things are coming back. And it's been not forgiven, it's been paused and paused and paused. But I think we all knew that it was going to get to a point where it wasn't going to be paused no more. And we are at that point. Um, so yeah, y'all, I just premiered that video on my channel as our Money Monday topic for this week. And I paid off $14,180.72 in 9 months. I had about 6 student loans, I believe that range from a little over 1,000 to the biggest one was 5,000 and some change, I think. So I had a few that were, I think the first two were 1,000. Those middles were like 2 and 3, and then that big chunk was 5. That 5 one took me like maybe like 2 months to pay off, if not 2.5. I can't quite remember. I remember I was hoping to be done with it by December 2021. That was my goal, but I missed that goal because that 5,000 was a hard hitter. And that was the biggest debt that I had paid off so far. But at the end of January, I think it was January 28th, 2022, is when I was able to pay it off. And, in the video, I talk about how I was able to do that. And I know there's a lot of people, you only have 14. I got 114. We all can do something. So please don't let the number get in the way of the technique, because that's what it's about. With any technique, you can take out anything big or small. So, in the video, I talk about how, I was really how I tackled that. And the first thing that, as cliche as it sounds, like I had to make a decision to say, I don't want to be in debt anymore, in any debt. And then I had to come to terms with my student loan debt, just, some of the dumb decisions that we all made. Um, and, taking out stuff and not really knowing what you're doing, just going in and clicking that yes button, doing that little promissory training thing and waiting on a check. Not thinking about how you gonna pay this off in the future and all this other things, just thinking about the right now. That was a lot of us. Um, So, I know for me, I had to come to terms with that. I made some bad decisions, especially in that area. And I was just over it. Like, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pay this off, and thank God it wasn't a large balance, but it still definitely, it took 9 months. So, it wasn't something that you could just pay off, right away. And looking back on the process, like, I'm happy that I went through it. Would I do it again? Heck no. But I'm happy that I went through it, because me going through that lets me know, girl, I never do that again. And y'all know, I'm finishing up this degree, but I'm in dissertation hours, y'all. My tuition, I don't pay fees or any of that, because I'm gonna have to pay for my tuition this go round. But your girl got a scholarship to take care of that, so yes, ma'am. And then I'll still be getting a refund. Y'all know that's my favorite time. So as classes start back next month, then I would definitely fill y'all in on that again. But there is, and that's another thing. A lot of us just accepted that we have to take out student loans. I'm in a doctoral group on Facebook, and this lady was saying, I really want to go back and get my doctoral degree, but debt is just no for me. And there were a lot of folks in the comments, and I was happy to see this, because sometimes I'm sitting on the other end where people encouraging people to go into debt. Like, please don't encourage nobody to go into debt. Um, but a lot of folks were in the comments, and they were like, if your PhD is not going to be paid for, then it's a no. I'm looking at another program, because there are stipends, there are graduate assistantships, there are lots of resources for you to be able to get a PhD paid for. So please, don't fall into the trap of, I gotta, take out all these loans and all these other stuff, because it's simply not true. Um, and that's true. A lot of employers are covering folks' education, a lot of, and then of course there is, just the different stipends and things, especially for these PhD programs. There are folks who, yeah, they're getting their PhD, they're able to do that because they're getting a stipend, they're getting like a living wage, things of that nature. Of course, it's not going to be as much as you would be making 40 hours a week at your standard, job that would require that, but it's something for you to be able to make it. And hopefully, to push you through quickly, because, you're trying to get to the real money. So, yeah, there are ways for you to be able to pay, for college without going into debt. But yes, they take some investigative practices. They take work. They don't just happen. That they don't just fall in your lap. Like, I went to grad school, I got my master's for free. um I got a master's degree in counselor education with a focus in vocational rehab and clinical mental health counseling for free. And my silly butt still took out a loan, like two loans during for 2 summers, because I was being silly. But yeah, these things are out there, and I think that getting back to how can you pay off your student loans, creating that plan. The first thing is to want to get out of debt. You gotta want it, but then you gotta go a step past wanting it. That is, you gotta be willing to put in the work, and you just have to acknowledge the silly stuff that you did and make a commitment to yourself to not do it again. In the video, I talk about how I hadn't really, of course, like, don't nobody want to be in debt, duh. But don't nobody want to put in the work to get out of debt either. And I had just kind of accepted that this is just life for everybody, and why would I be different? I had accepted that. And it's like, no, sis, it's like, no, we not accepting what everybody's doing. So that was my first step. I don't have my notes in front of me. My second one is the debt snowball. Y'all, the debt snowball is gold. Okay, I know a lot of people talk about like the debt snowball versus the avalanche, because interest rates and all these things like this. Listen, if you ain't ever been worried, if you don't even know the interest rate on them loans, please don't be distracted. Like, don't be all of a sudden distracted, as to why I gotta start with the interest rate, and that loan, is 15,000. Like, girl, start with that little one, okay? You was not worried about that interest rate all this time. Don't be, knocked off now by it. So, I am a proponent for the debt snowball. It helped me to pay off all of my debt. But it's, for me, it's perfect for student loans, because most of us, we didn't just have one big loan, we had multiple loans. So when you rank them things from least to greatest, and you just start, at the bottom and start working your way up, when I tell you, it helps so much. It gives you encouragement, because, realistically, $1,000, in America is not like a whole lot of money. So as you start knocking off those smaller balances, it feels good. It's like, okay, I can do this. Like when I knocked off those first, $1,000 balance, I was like, okay, girl, you better go ahead. You doing something. So it's important for you, to be able to utilize that method to rank those loans. And then I know a lot of people have like multiple loans. Like mine were six. I say six, but it might have been nine, but I can't remember. It was somewhere, like in between that. But when you have like a whole bunch of loans, like 12 and up and all these other numbers, yes, you need to rank those things from smallest to largest and start at the bottom. Give yourself something to work with. Build your financial muscles up to be able to keep going, because this is truly like a marathon, especially for folks who have that six-figure debt and ain't making nowhere near six figures. That is a lot, to be able to just swallow, and you gotta just have that plan in order for you to break it down and for you to stay, like consistent with it. Because that's the thing too. Like you gotta stay consistent with it, and even if you do fall off because things happen, get back up again and keep going, and don't wait. Immediately just go right back into it. So the debt snowball is what I'm always champion for, y'all. That was my major tool that I used to paying off debt, of course, in addition to budgeting. But this next part, girl, is a part that a lot of people, they just not ready for, girl. I don't even know if I was ready for this, but I did it. And that was working multiple jobs. Like I remember I used to think like people who work multiple jobs was broke. Like I don't know why I used to be like why would you do that? Like wow, like you must really be broke. Like, but no, that's how you get ahead. Cause you're not gonna be able to do it on your regular job. Now for people, let's just say that he had like $5,000 in student loan. Something real small. I probably could have did, my balance on my 9 to 5, but I had all that other debt, So you're going to have to get another job. For some people, it may be one. In the video, I talk about me working 4 extra jobs, working from Sunday to Sunday, like going in, working like I had 5 kids and I was 2 months behind on the rent, baby. That's how I was working, okay? Like while you can work, you need to work. Like, one day I'm gonna have, that life where I don't really be working, but, now it's not that time. So, because things happen, people get injured, people are, life just happens and you're not able to, pivot like you once were. And it's just like, it's always at the least inopportune time, And I know for me, like, I didn't want to think back to, dang, back when I could have worked and now I couldn't. So, take on those extra jobs, most definitely. Especially, these jobs, like all these places hiring. Like I know the gas station that I go to at Walmart, they stay with a sign in the window. And that one little lady always be in there. Like, have you been to Dollar Tree lately? It's that same little lady blowing up balloons. Got people at the register. Then she got to use the bathroom. Like, it's just a lot going on. These people need workers, okay? So find you a job, and one that you're going to get hours, preferably one with weekly pay. I love a good weekly pay. And as you're, making the bucks, immediately when you get that check, put it on the debt. Like when you see that balance go down, like it just does something for you. Like it just like increases those endorphins, those happy feels. It makes you just feel so good. So that's my thing. Like, yeah, work multiple jobs. And once you see that you're putting at least $1,000, because once you start working multiple jobs, like you will see that your income is going to increase by at least $2,000, depending on how many hours you're working and how much you're getting paid. But you're going to have at least an extra 1K a month. Imagine like you put in that 1K, extra 1K in addition to what you're already putting because of your debt snowball. all at that debt. Like that thing, it's gonna move. Like in the beginning, like it may seem like it's moving slow, but once you get the rhythm, once you start, I remember like I would do DoorDash and Uber Eats, and I would just set that goal. Like I would see how much was left on the loan, and I'd be like, okay, this weekend, today I need to make 50. Tomorrow I need to make 50. That's an extra 100, to put on it, and then I'll be done, by the end of this time. So, when you really get in your groove and you start seeing how, easy it is to make more money, and then you start applying the money, appropriately, it's going to do something to your momentum. It's going to do something to your spirit, just your overall motivation. So work extra jobs, especially right now. It's summertime. Listen, people on vacation, all these other things, all these places hiring. Even if it doesn't have like anything to do with, like your regular day job. So what? You making money. Yeah, you making honest money. You ain't sitting on your behind waiting on somebody to do something for you. So, choose one of these. Choose anything, especially things that are close to you that you could just pull up right after your regular job, put on your little shirt and call it a day. Take advantage of these things. In the video I might talk about teachers, because y'all know I was a teacher, and I was surrounded by many teachers who work multiple jobs. Would work at Publix. Shout out to Publix. I miss Publix a lot. I live in Texas now. Ain't no Publix, but would be teaching during the day, working at Publix at night, teaching during the day, at Walmart or at the local, whatever market store, whatever, So please don't be ashamed. I think a lot in our country, especially like on Instagram and stuff, it's like, oh, you need to do this with this business, and why you giving your time to this and that. Listen, if you in debt and you trying to get out, work that job. It's just a temporary thing, okay? So that was one thing that I talked about. I also talked about not waiting for the White House, because that was something that was really important. Y'all know that I had gotten that check back, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna just hold on to it, just to see what happens. But I knew, that hey, if this thing ain't a go, which it wasn't, I'm just going to, give this check back and call it, like a day. But waiting on the White House, in hopes, that they're going to forgive, like everything, and you not doing anything in like the meantime. Because I think it's okay for everybody to have had their fingers, nails, toes crossed, and hoping that something was going to happen. There's nothing wrong with hoping. But faith without work is dead, right? So you got to put some momentum behind it, that whether they do it or they don't. Like I knew that whether they do it or they don't, I know it's paid, because that check just gonna go right back, So I think that's important, is for us to be able to remember that you got what it takes to take control of your financial future. I had to like learn that and really say that to myself. Like, it's not nobody else. It's not, just some pie in the sky dream. Even, it's not just God, doing it for me. No, he wants to see what you gonna do. Because if he just do it for you, then what you gonna learn? Nothing. Child, I probably would have been right back in debt. But now I know the pains. I know the pains of paying that crap off, right? Listen, no ma'am. Versus when, somebody just does it for you. It doesn't, it's nice, of course. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Amen. But it's not the same as when you had to fight and get through the mud to do it yourself. It is not the same. And you are more likely, to maybe to go back into that cycle if you haven't put in those good habits, if you haven't put in the work, to be able to do what needed to be done. So yes, y'all, those are my tips. Like, I think most importantly, you can do it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Oh, my other one, I was stay encouraged. So surround yourself with good messages. Surround yourself with encouraging podcasts. Surround yourself with encouraging reads, videos, friends, Facebook, social media groups, with people who are trying to do, the same thing that you're doing, with folks who have already done it. Surround yourself with those people, because you know that's what's going to help you to keep going when you're tired, when you don't feel like it. Try, I know as many times I did not feel like getting out there and doing DoorDash, you know, or Uber Eats. I just didn't feel like it, you know. But knowing my why and why I wanted to do this, knowing, you know, my ultimate goal, that you know, that pushed me. Listening to people doing it, listening to people, you know, saying you can do this, keep going. Those are things that really, really just like push me to that, you know, next level. So encourage yourself. So always stay encouraged, you know, no matter what you're going through, always stay encouraged. That is one thing that's really, really important. And also, if you are looking for an easy read, an encouraging read, motivational read, click that link in the description box or the comment section of my previous video that just aired. Get my $5 e-guide. It's only $5 and it's an easy read. It's quick, it's right to the point, and you know, will be able to just learn more about my journey and hopefully be able to apply the things, you know, that I did to your own journey. So don't forget about my $5 e-guide. It's my first financial literacy guide that I've written. Of course, I plan to do more other things in that area. And shout out to the folks who have purchased it already. I greatly appreciate your support. Listen, y'all, my watch time is doing a little something, y'all. I'm seeing y'all watching my videos. So please like, share, subscribe, drop your girl a comment. All those things help me. We're creeping up on 1.8 subscribers. So we are right on the tail of 1,800 subscribers. That'll probably be within the next few days. So shouts out to y'all. I am so excited, y'all. I also got my first brand deal, which is with Javi Coffee. So y'all be sure to be able to use my 20% off code. That's in the description box in my videos as well. I do receive a small commission for that, so thank y'all for supporting me in that way as well. And listen, y'all, I think I'm gonna go ahead and work out, get me a little walk in. The sun is down. We'll be back next week, or no, I'm sorry, not next week, on Wednesday. I'll be talking about my 1 year cutting my hair. And also, yeah, I started editing the archaeological dig, so hopefully I will get that to y'all this week, fingers crossed. But I'ma see y'all next time. Bye.